What's up, fragrant world? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. I was tagged by TLTG Reviews, my man Ross. This is 4 fragrances to double up on, or 4 fragrances that are backup bottle worthy, whatever you want to call it. But I was tagged by Ross. I'm going to talk about 4 fragrances that I would get a backup bottle of. Now, just to be fully clear, I don't really do backup bottles. That's not my thing. I do happen to have a couple of backup bottles, but they're ones that I acquired by chance or by mistake. There's long stories, but I'm not really one who goes out and seeks to get multiple bottles of a fragrance. Honestly, the way I see it, if I run out, which I honestly don't know if I ever will run out of any of these fragrances that I have, because I have so many, then I run out. And if I want to get another one, then I'll try to find it. If I can't find it, then such is life. I'm not going to sweat it. But if I were to play along, these are fragrances that I do deem backup bottle worthy. I have 2 designers, I have 2 niche. And the way I chose these fragrances is basically they're ones that I wanted to include on my top fragrances for life videos. I did a niche list, I did a designer list. And as I said in those videos, there are many fragrances I wanted to include on those lists, but I had to keep it to 10. And these would have made those lists. So I just decided to make these an extension of those lists. So these are the ones that I'm choosing. Maybe one of them is possibly going to become hard to find, but the rest of them you can find pretty easily. So, there's no real reason for them to be backup bottle worthy other than the fact that I really love them. So let's jump into it. First one up, first designer fragrance, a cheapie. A total cheapie, one that you see a little bit of talk about here and there. I know Big Beard Business has reviewed this one. He seems to enjoy this one. I recently got a bottle after sleeping on it for a while. My man Crochet put me on to it. He keeps reminding me, like, hey, have you smelled it yet? Have you smelled it yet? And I finally got it. And I'm like, man, I like this fragrance a lot. It really impressed me and it really surprised me. This is 3 a.m. from the house of Sean John. This is a 2015 release, and this is a beautiful, easy breezy, fresh scent for the summertime, but it does have a sensuality to it that I really dig. You got this tonic water note. It's so effervescent. When you spray it on, it's bubbly, and it's fresh and bright, and there's some citruses. I think there's bergamot in here, maybe even some mandarin orange. There's some cardamom, so it does have a cooling, spicy nature to it. There's fig leaf, there's leather, geranium. It's an interesting mix of notes, not one that you would expect to find in a celebrity fragrance. And it makes for a great scent that gets even better as it dries. It gets a kind of a creamy nature, but it still stays fresh and a little sweet. I love this stuff. I cannot wait to continue wearing it as it gets warmer. This is one you could wear to like parties during the daytime, pool parties, whatnot, if we get to that point and we can actually be next to each other again, but we'll see about that. I will get a lot of wear out of 3 a.m. from Sean John. I'm going to link it down below if you want to check it out. Up next, our first niche fragrance. This is from the house of Mancera. I have reviewed this and I just simply love this fragrance. I can't get much wear out of it just now. We're getting into the heart of the spring, so it's getting a little warm, but in the nighttime I can pull this off. And I still try to sneak a spray or 2 here and there when I can. This is called Instant Crush. They released from last year. I reviewed it. You can check it out here. And this is awesome. This is an oriental leathery scent. You have a lot of vanilla. There's saffron, jasmine, amberwood, which is kind of like ambroxan. So it is woody as well, but it's sweet. It's a little bit thick and rich. And again, it's kind of leathery from that saffron note, and it's beautifully unisex. Anyone could wear this, and it's very seductive, and it's beast mode. It's like, what more could you want out of a fragrance? It does often get compared to Baccarat Rouge 540, which I totally agree with. It shares at least 4 or 5 of the main notes with Baccarat Rouge 540 from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. So honestly, I do think that's what they're going for here, but this is better to me. That's just my taste. I like it a little bit richer. And this does that for me more so than Baccarat Rouge. Instant Crush. Again, I'll link it down below if you want to check it out. Our next designer. Now this one, again, it's rumored to be discontinued. I wouldn't be surprised if it really is, because this was unfortunately one of the least popular flankers in this line. This is from the house of Yves Saint Laurent, YSL, and this is a beautiful flanker to the original L'Homme. This is L'Homme Ultime. And they've taken the original L'Homme, that kind of sweet, creamy, and woody fragrance that's really likable, very pleasant, and they added extra woods to it, so you got a lot of cedar wood in here, and they boosted the ginger, so it does have a nice spicy kick to it, and rose is really at the heart of this. So you get this like woody, spicy rose that is fresh and just a little creamy, but not as much as the original L'Homme. I love it. And it's an eau de parfum. It lasts 7-8 hours on the skin, if not a little bit more. And it smells unique. If anything, it smells similar to the original L'Homme, but it's its own thing. Nothing really smells like this. And this is one that is backup bottle worthy. And again, mainly because it could be discontinued. So I will link this one down below as well if you want to check it out. But finally, again, another fragrance that I really wanted to include in my top 10 niche fragrances for life. I owned it at one point. I had an original bottle, one of the older formulations that was given to me by my friend A2. I parted ways with it because it was a weird time and it wasn't a fragrance that I loved at the moment. And I really regret that. And I decided to reacquire it. Now this is a newer formulation, but it's still good. It's still just as good as I remember the old one being, perhaps a little bit less powdery than the original, but it's still the same fragrance. This is from Serge Lutens, and this is Chergui, a beautiful fragrance for the fall and winter. You can even wear it in the spring when it's not too warm. And oh, it's so elegant and very, very unique. You get a lot of tobacco, there's honey, there is an interesting hay accord. It's sweet, it's a little oriental. That honey definitely makes it pretty sweet and rich. That tobacco makes it a little bit earthy. And that hay note is really something interesting. I've always thought that with this fragrance, if it did not have that hay note, it would be kind of just flat and bland. That hay note really adds a character. It adds this kind of like rustic, you know, almost earthy quality to it, but it does kind of remind you of hay when you really dig into it. It's a little powdery, so you gotta like powdery scents to enjoy this, but this is one you wear on a night out when you're dressed up. This is some elegant stuff. I love this. Beautifully unisex as well. That is Chergui from Serge Lutens. Once again, link down below in the description. So that is my 4 fragrances to double up on. I'm gonna tag someone. Who am I going to tag? I'm gonna tag my man Kazembe over at Perfumes by Genesis. He's a brand new member of the community in terms of making videos. He just started his channel. We've been chatting for several months, and I'm gonna be featuring him more on the channel, but I wanted to introduce you guys to him. So Kazembe, you're tagged. I'm gonna link him down in the description. So you can go check out his channel. Make sure you go subscribe and show him some love and support. If you like the video, please like the video. I really appreciate it. And let me know down in the comments, what is one fragrance that you absolutely do not want to run out of? Something that you feel like you would need a backup bottle just to make sure that you don't run out in the future. And if you haven't subscribed,
do I need to say it?
I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.